Matthew Lee, Intercity Press, on behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access. Thanks a lot for the briefing. I'm glad we got it rescheduled and it's happening. I wanted to ask you, this may be for you, Mr. Feller. It has to do with, had asked in here as well about Burundi and its police that have served in Central African Republic. It was confirmed today that they won't be replaced when they return home. And I wanted to know, Ferhan may have something to say on this, but if it's about human rights, is it about the human rights performance of the Burundians in Central African Republic, where I know they are alleged to have engaged in sexual exploitation or abuse, or more generally about the country's policing of its own country? And if you can say, what's your view of, in terms of accepting contingents of police, how are they vetted? Are they vetted based on the individual concerned? Are they vetted on the basis of the performance of the police as a whole in the home country? And then just one follow-up on Darfur, just maybe as a very specific thing. I don't know if the UN police component was involved in trying to investigate or gain access to Tabet, this site where there were allegedly mass rapes that took place, and the government denied it, and then there was an initial UN report saying everything was fine, no one spoke about it. Later, people had a lot of doubts about the investigation. Are you aware of that case, and do the police patrol there? Was there any sort of police nexus to that case and to protecting people that live there? Thanks.
Thank you, Matthew, for that question. On the one hand, one point I would like to make is that Burundi has a very long record of service with United Nations police operations, and this record is good, and this record is something we remain very grateful for. That's very clear. Secondly, in terms of the Central African Republic, the overarching answer is that we vet police officers in the United Nations or who enter into the service of the United Nations, either as government-provided personnel or on contracted personnel positions, on grounds of a very, very intense human rights scrutiny. There is a very complex network and arrangement in order to assure that police officers, to the best of our knowledge, have a record that also allows them to do service for the United Nations. Thirdly, the peacekeepers, the police peacekeepers from Burundi in the Central African Republic who are currently there are almost there since 2 years uninterrupted. So you can just do the math and also conclude from what I have said that Burundian peace and police peacekeepers have a good record, that this is also holding true for those who currently work in the Central African Republic. But the current allegations of serious and ongoing human rights violations in Burundi have triggered a decision that has been made at the United Nations headquarters to postpone engagement and also to not replace existing contingents. At the end of their tour of duty, they will be repatriated, and we will not replace them from Burundi for the time being.
Just one follow-up. Thanks a lot. That makes it a lot clearer. I had heard, and I don't know if you're obviously speaking very diplomatically, but that Burundi had wanted, of the 100-some member states that are participating in the conference, that Burundi wanted to be one. Are they one? And if not, is this part of the decision made on human rights grounds?
Sorry, we have made the decision here on grounds of the ongoing situation in Burundi that we postpone engaging Bujumbura in discussions on future deployment of their national police force in peace operations.